Okay, welcome. We are going to we're going to be on page 7 in our notebooks for our next set of notes. And this one's kind of an activity. So all you're going to need though is a plain white sheet of paper. You can use notebook paper if that's all you have. No big deal. But I will be using a plain white sheet of paper. So the first thing we're going to want to do is fold it in half hot dog style. Okay, so we got to fold it in half hot dog style. If we open it back up, then we're going to fold each edge into that middle. Okay. So for example, like there's my middle crease right there. Here was the outside edge. I just folded it in. And then I'm going to do the same to this side. Just fold it in to the middle. I really enjoy making foldables for kind of definitions and that kind of stuff. So you've got this kind of little foldable thing. Okay, we're going to keep it like this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold the top down in half. So we've got that. Okay. And if you wanted to unfold it all the way, you could have done that as well. Doesn't matter. And then the next thing we're going to do is kind of hard, but it's folding it into thirds. Okay. Some of you still have it like this, which is fine. That's the way I prefer it. Then we're going to fold it into thirds. So the way I like to fold it into thirds is I like to make an S. So if I take the paper like this, and then I kind of fold it like this, I'm going to try to get all 3 of those. See, I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to get all 3 of those equal or pretty close before I just smash it down and make the creases. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then you have a Z. So get that. And then you're going to unfold it to here. Okay, so what we have here are like little doors. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut right here. Make sure you're just cutting the top one. So let me grab my scissors here. And I'll make a few cuts. Okay, so you kind of have this thing going on and you're going to cut all of them. So I'm going to like pause the recording and then all of those will be cut. Okay, so you should have all of your little doors cut out. Okay, there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 of them. Okay, and then we're going to use this as kind of like flashcards for our notebook. So let's jump over to the doc cam and we will take a look at these notes. Okay, so like I said, we are on page 7. I'm going to title the top of this vocab at the very, very top, because what I'm actually going to do is this is going to go in our notebook, but we're going to have to, it's going to overhang a little bit, so you'll just end up folding the bottom ones in on page 7. So instead of taping it in or gluing it in first. I'm just gonna take it off to the side so that we can write in it and it not cause a problem. Okay, so the way we're gonna get this done. So let's just go ahead and I'm gonna put the vocab words here on the front. So we're gonna start with point. I like to use a few different colors here. We got line, plane, collinear, we have coplanar, and parallel. Starting back up at the top here, we have midpoint, bisector, congruent segments, intersect, equal lengths, and the last one we're going to have is perpendicular. Okay, so like I said, these are flashcards. So like when we do point, you'll be able to kind of, it's going to be backwards than flashcards though, because the actual point information will be over here. So you kind of can see it all at once. And to help us kind of figure all that out, since point is in purple, all of this information will also be in purple. And then when we do midpoint, all of this information over here will be in orange, okay? So let's start with midpoint. So I'm gonna grab my orange marker. I'm gonna write the definition here. So midpoint is a point that bisects a segment into two congruent segments. I know that might be a little hard to read. Let me see. I might have some pens. So I got orange, purple, blue, and let's see if I have, I'm sure I have a red pen somewhere. Okay. I'll switch to pins after this one. Okay. So, and then a picture. So if you have a segment, okay, let's say RS, and then you have a midpoint, let's call it T, that splits RS into congruent segments. And we show congruent with tick marks right there. Okay, and then we could say RT segment is congruent. That's an equal with a squiggly line. Congruent to TS segment. Okay. Now let me switch to some pens, so maybe that's easier. All right, let's jump over to point. Point is in purple. So point has no dimension. Okay. There's some other definitions, but this is what we're going with. Has no dimension. It's a fixed object in space. Okay, so point A. Let's go ahead and do the other purple ones, which was bisector. So we'll jump over here to bisector, which is a point, line, plane, ray that intersects at a midpoint. Okay, so let's say I have this segment RS again with midpoint T, and I show it the midpoint because of those congruent symbols there. And then we can have, let's say, array TA. Okay, now since this ray intersects at a midpoint, that is a bisector. That is a bisecting ray. Okay, a couple more purple ones. Coplanar. Coplanar means on the same plane. Okay, so our picture here, we'll just draw a plane. We can label it R, and we got points A, B, and C are coplanar because they are on the same plane. And the last one in purple was perpendicular. So perpendicular means same plane and intersect at 90 degrees. Hopefully you remember the symbol for that. So let's say I have this line and this ray. They intersect at 90 right there. So that's what we're going to focus on, that 90-degree angle there. Okay, let's jump to orange. Orange was midpoint. We already have that one. Okay, we already have midpoint, so it looks like collinear. Collinear means on the same line. Okay, so for our picture, we're just going to draw a line. And we're going to put points A, B, and C. Those points are collinear. They're on the same line. Points can be collinear and segments can be collinear, but the segment can't go like off of the line. The entire thing has to be on the line for it to be collinear. Okay, let's switch to blue. So it looks like we have plane. Plane is a flat surface in 2 dimensions. And we denote it with a capital cursive letter. I like to use R. Is that the only one in blue? Oh, no, intersect. Sorry, I gotta close them up or I don't see what's on the other side. Okay, so intersect. So intersect is where two lines, segments, rays, or planes meet or cross. So if we have two lines, M and line L, they meet right here at this. This is called the point of intersection. Okay, and we have a symbol for intersect. So we'd say line L intersects line M. Okay, so there's a intersect. I think I need to go back to orange and do equal lengths. So equal lengths would be segments having the same measure. Okay, so if we have segment here, X, Y, and let's say that segment is 3, and then we have this segment DA, which is also 3, we would say that those segments have equal lengths. So X, Y is equal to DA because you're saying 3 is the same thing as 3, okay, that they are equal. Okay, and then we have parallel. Parallel is the same plane and same distance apart. So line L, oh, that's an arrow, and line M, they're on the same plane, same distance apart, and we can put a little triangle or a little arrow there to show that they are indeed parallel. Okay, let's see. I got those. I think I need red. Yep, need red. Okay, so congruent segments are segments that have the same length. But unlike equal lengths, we're not worried about the actual number. So if I have segment AB, and if I have segment CD, if those have the same length, we can put what's called a little tick mark there and show that they are congruent. Okay, so AB segment is congruent to CD segment. Okay, so since they are congruent, okay, the tick mark says that they are congruent. That means that they are the same length. And the last one, I believe, is a line. A line is one dimension. So it extends in one dimension. Lowercase cursive letter. Okay, so that will be our little foldable here that we're gonna tape. And if you need to kind of back it up and rewatch some of those, you definitely can. Okay, so we're just gonna tape it in here on page 7. So I'm gonna put a little piece of tape here at the top. Then I'm gonna come, I put a little piece of tape right here at the top. Then I'm gonna kind of smash it all down. And I'm gonna put a little piece of tape right there at the bottom. And I can use this to help study, okay? So that is kind of the video lesson for today, okay? I just want you to be studying those definitions and those words and practicing the notation and the drawing and all that kind of stuff, okay? All right, that is it for the lesson.